The team is busy working on some bigger, longer initiatives like Crossplay.
What did he say?
Hey guys, the 2026 reveal for The Elder Scrolls Online is finally here. What new developments are we getting for this game, and is it enough to make ESO worth playing this year, or is the game cooked? Today I'll go over all of the main takeaways from Bethesda's livestream, and I'll let you know my thoughts along the way. P.S. I'm on day 13 of the Superflu. First off, there will be a new content model going forward, so instead of chapters and DLCs like in the past, there will now be seasons, which will run 4 times a year and each for 3 months long. Each season is essentially just new content, and each season will be uniquely different. So instead of the previous model where we would get dungeons or trials at specific times of the year, ESO going forward will look very different. For example, in spring we are getting a few new systems, which I'll talk about, the new PvP progression system, and finally overland content is going to be made more difficult, so that's a great improvement people have been asking for a very long time. So in the summer, for example, things will be different. We'll get new world events and a trial, and then in the later part of the year we'll get some new solo dungeons. So these new solo dungeons will essentially be enhanced versions of the dungeons that are already in the game, and you'll be able to do them solo for some new special rewards. So this sounds very interesting. I am disappointed to see no 4-man dungeons. That's a big L for me personally, but hopefully the group events, which I'll touch on later, are fun and make up for that. So all of this content here is going to be free.
All new content and features are all going to be available for free for anyone who owns ESO.
So as long as you own the base game, you will get whatever content that a season brings for free every 3 months. There is a monetization system in place, of course. For example, the Battle Pass system called TAMRIEL Tomes. This is essentially just a reward system, and it's broken down into 3 tiers. So everyone gets a free base version, but if you want to pay for the premium or premium plus version, you can elect to pay for that. You don't have to. Here's an example of the difference between the base free tier and the premium tier that you could pay for. The free stuff is actually not that bad. There's 8,000 seals of endeavor that you can get for free, which is a lot. Some new skill styles and stuff like that. The paid cosmetics have a brand new mount that apparently changes appearances depending on if it's night or day. That sounds pretty awesome. And there's also new personality, the ability to recolor skill styles, bunch of cool cosmetic stuff here. So just to break this down, this is an optional thing. You can essentially just pay for the base game of ESO, get all of the offered content like the trials and new group events, and get the goodies from the free tome reward system. If you want to be a whale, on the other hand, and get the premium cosmetics and the small perks, that's your choice. I do wonder what kind of effect this is going to have on the Crown Store. Are Crown Store items still going to be superior to this stuff? And like, why do we need so many cosmetic systems in place? But you know, I guess they got to get their money, right? So in fact, there's actually another in-game store coming, which is called the Gold Coast Bazaar. So endeavors and daily login rewards will be removed from the game, and now we're going to have a store called the Gold Coast Bazaar. This is more of an in-game reward system type of store. So basically like the Endeavor store where you would earn items from doing actual activities in the game, like killing enemies or crafting. That's what's going to allow you to buy stuff from this store. The one good thing about these new reward systems is that they seem to be more spread out. So instead of worrying about logging in every day or doing your daily or weekly endeavors, you're going to have more time to get your cosmetics and rewards across the course of a season. So I think that's a good thing here. Lastly, ESO Plus is not going anywhere. They aren't changing the price or taking anything away from it. There will be some new benefits added to it though, and some of these are pretty good, such as increased furnishing limits for housing. Some houses have some exceptions, unfortunately, but there's also some increased transmute crystal limit, so 3,000. Thank God. I have so many mules that are storing crystals for me right now, so I'm just very excited that this got bumped up to 3K. ESO Plus will also start giving you credit beginning this month to acquire the Premium Plus Tome. So that tier system that we talked about, that you can get increased goodies if you wanted to pay. So if you have ESO Plus for 12 months starting this month, then you'll start acquiring credit to get that premium for free for 1 season. Kind of crazy length here, you know, an entire year, but I mean, I guess it's something. Okay, here's some good stuff here. Here's some quality of life improvements coming in Update 49, which is in March. Really happy to see that they are removing the vamp and werewolf affliction and cures from the Crown Store. This was some cash grab bullshit that just took advantage of newer players that never should have been in the store, so I'm glad that got removed. Some other notable ones here are being able to hide more than just your head and shoulders. You can hide a bunch more stuff now, so maybe we can all run around naked. Respecking skills and attributes for free. This is awesome. This should have been in the game from day 1. It's just going to be really nice to be able to respec whenever you want for free. Account-wide outfit slot slots, this is another very good one. You know, I'm happy to see that changes like this are taking place, which I consider to be like abhorrent microtransactions. These things should be across your account and you should never have to pay for this individually on characters, so that's a very good thing. Guild name repping, so now you can show your guild name without wearing the tabard. This is actually a pretty good one, especially in PvP, where if you're on the wrong alliance, it's just going to look like you're wearing a white towel. It's not going to actually show your tabard, so this is cool. Now you don't have to worry about wearing it. And then the back bar experience change, so both bars now are going to get equal experience regardless. You know, you could be on your back bar for your bow. It's still going to give you experience for your dual wield on the front bar. This is a great change. So this is a seasonal event which comes out in the spring for a few months, and we will revisit it later in the year as well, and it could be potentially a permanent thing too. So it's basically a new event space for challenging group content, so harder than even the enhanced overland content that you're going to expect in zones from now on, and you're likely going to need a group with others to progress through this. Also, this event zone is going to have its own reward system. For example, there's going to be a new house that players can acquire by progressing through this zone, and you can even upgrade it. So upgrading the house by progressing through the zone. This house actually has a bank, so finally you can have a crib with its own bank. That's awesome. I'm very excited to see this type of content, but let's cross our fingers, because if it's anything like the writhing wall, it's going to be trash. So really, I hope that they learned something from that event, and if they did, then this has good potential. Here are some new examples of the enhanced visuals for older classes. The idea here is that they are trying to refresh some of the outdated animations to kind of get up to par with how enhanced the Arcanist abilities look like, for example. Some of these skills look amazing. Like, look at this new DK chain that just looks incredible. I can't wait to see what the other class animations look like, you know, and overall, this really just refreshes the game. It's 12 years old now at this point, so it's really nice to kind of get improvements from some of those older skills and older classes, and it can feel kind of new. In terms of the class rework, here's the timeline for how the classes will be updated one by one, not just the visuals, but the actual skill balancing changes. So Dragon Knight is up first, of course, and then we're going to get Werewolf changes coming in June. So it looks like it's going to take about 3 months for each class rework. I'm honestly a little concerned by the timeline here, considering how long this is going to take for them to balance all of the classes. This kind of opens up the door for some interim imbalance, so that sucks, but I guess that's just nothing new, unfortunately. We'll have to see how they handle this. P.S. In addition to their rework, werewolves are getting a female version, so I'm curious, will the howl sound differently for the chicas? Finally, just some last points on PvP.
The team's also bringing back 3-sided Battlegrounds.
3-sided Battlegrounds is returning to BGs, thank God. Amazing news here. They did mention they're going to rework some of the maps so people can't camp up top at the base, but unfortunately they didn't mention returning the old maps. In terms of the PvP progression system, which is coming out in the first season, no more information was divulged, so we're not going to know any details on this until later. Also, Vengeance, they're still working on it, so no news on that. And then of course the
crossplay.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if the heavy attacker on the left here meant to drop us with the tease here, or if this was an accident, but overall very excited that they mentioned crossplay. If it's getting worked on in the background, you know, that's great. I just hope it doesn't take too many years, but overall glad they kind of dropped that hint. So that wraps up for the 2026 reveal for ESO. Of course, this reveal pales in comparison to some other huge reveals that we've had in the years past. I did kind of walk away from it being like, is that it? You know, it's hard to compete with a new class or something like that. So yeah, some of the main selling points are a little underwhelming, but overall it looks like ESO after 12 years is not going anywhere. Let me know what you guys thought about the reveal. Are you excited for the game's future, or was this looking like maintenance mode for you? I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. See you guys next time. As always, cheers.